My mission is simple: to help you use your collective's money wisely. There's always a bull of an offensive lineman or defensive lineman out there that you can get at the right price to help your team win. I'm here to make sure that you use your collective's money the right way, that you distribute it properly so you don't get caught overpaying for somebody who won't help and you let somebody who would help go out the door. Here's how this works. The transfer portal market is two pieces: the guys that are in the portal and the guys that you're trying to keep out of the portal. Those are your own guys. You got to figure out, what are they worth and are they worth keeping? You also have to figure out, who can I bring in? How can I afford them? How should I allocate my money? This is very important. All of this matters. You do not want to waste this money because you are begging donors for it. You don't want to waste it. So what do? What happens? Let's say you've got a starting running back and he comes to you and he says, I'm going to need $500,000 to come back and play for you next year. You know what you say to that guy? I don't care if you're a national title contender and the one piece you need is a running back. You tell that guy to hit the bricks. Sell, sell, sell. You do not want that running back. The key to remember in the transfer portal is you are essentially an NFL general manager. Just because it's college football and not the NFL does not mean that the principles that hold true in the NFL draft and in the NFL free agency market, they're the same. It's the same sport. So who do they pay the most for? Quarterbacks, offensive tackles, edge rushers, defensive tackles, cornerbacks. That's where you put your money. If a running back comes to you with an outrageous number, you tell him to walk. Here's why. Especially in college, even more so than in the NFL. If you have a good offensive line, I can gain 4.5 yards of carry behind it. You don't need anything else. You can find a running back. You probably already have that guy on your roster. So if you had a guy who gained 1,000 yards last year or 1,500 yards last year, and he says, I want $350,000, $400,000, and you're not awash in cash, you don't want that guy. Let him go. And when he goes to other schools and says, I want X number of dollars, I want $350,000, $400,000, $500,000, they're going to say no because they're not stupid either. Somebody's going to take him, but you can laugh and think they paid the money, but they probably at that point will have said, here's what we can give you. And at that point, he's been told no enough that that's where it is. But before that, I want to tell you about GameTime, the easiest, fastest, most stress-free way to buy last-minute tickets. Let's say you're all pumped up about that Rose Bowl matchup, Michigan, Alabama. Well, guess what? You go to GameTime right now, you can buy tickets to the Rose Bowl, multiple points of view. You look at exactly where you'll sit. You see a photo of the stadium, and you're saying, okay, pretty picture of the stadium. Well, no, that is a picture from the seat you would be buying. A couple more clicks, and it's yours. You want to go to the Sugar Bowl, want to see Washington play Texas? Yeah, GameTime has tickets. Now, if you want to see a great game, but maybe you're not in the market for tickets that are as rich as the Rose Bowl or the Sugar Bowl, you can go see Purdue and Arizona play basketball on Saturday in Indianapolis. Less than $100 for a ticket right now to get in on GameTime. It's a big game. That's potentially the two best teams in America right now playing one another. Could be a lot of fun. So if you happen to be in Indy over the weekend, maybe you get a little St. Elmo shrimp cocktail, walk on over to the arena, take in some Purdue, Arizona. Download the GameTime app. Use the code Staples for $20 off your first purchase. It is so easy, and you can find sports, concerts, theater, comedy, you name it. If they got tickets to it, GameTime probably has it. And they got tickets to all the best sporting events. So you want to see the best basketball game in the country so far this year? It's on Saturday. It's in Indy. Get them at GameTime. You want to see a college football playoff game? Get him a GameTime. Use the code Staples, $20 off your first purchase. But that said, there are other places where you should spend your money. How about quarterback? Take it away, Matt Rule.
Do you feel like you have to address the quarterback situation in the portal by you going into the portal?
I think that the portal for me is I either want to, if we go into the portal, I either want to get someone with at any position, someone with multiple years, I think is on caliber with the guys that we have, or someone who's instant impact upgrade, like someone who can make a difference. Make no mistake that a good quarterback in the portal costs $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million right now. So just on the same page, right? So let's make sure we all understand what's happening.
Oh, we understand what's happening, Matt. We know you've been doing your research because you are in the market for a portal quarterback. You took Jeff Sims out of it last year. It didn't work out. You're back in the market. We know that Kyle McCord, late of Ohio State, is visiting you. We know Julian Fleming is receivers with him. And so that's the question. What are you willing to pay? You just said the market is low seven figures. You said it's $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million. The question is, who's $1 million? Who's $1.5 million? Who's $2 million? Is Dillon Gabriel going from Oklahoma to Oregon? Is he $1.5 million? Probably, because he's a proven just accumulator of yards on the ground, through the air, you name it. What about Kyle McCord? Where does he fit? What about Cam Ward? Cam Ward, he's the high end of this. There's a lot of schools that want Cam Ward. And the more bidders in the market, the price goes up. Kyle McCord, though, he's got some action. What are you willing to do, Matt Rule? Is this an instant upgrade? Are you willing to go seven figures? Are we going to go to $1 million? If that's the case, buy. Because you need a quarterback. We saw what happened. Nebraska hasn't been to a bowl game since 2016. You were so close. You were right there on the cusp of bowl eligibility, but you couldn't get there. You needed a quarterback. And now you're going in the market to get one. And it's not easy because there's a lot of buyers out there. There's a good number of sellers too. It's not like you're looking for a game-changing defensive tackle. I'm sure you'd like one of those too. Or a cornerstone left tackle on the offensive line. That said, $1 million. What are you going to do? That's what you got to figure out. Is Kyle McCord worth $1 million to you? Because if he is, you could probably make that happen. But that's how these coaches, that's how you got to operate. That's how these collectives, you got to operate. Unless you just have donors willing to give your collective a fortune, and you can go out and get Dillon Gabriel, your Oregon, your Division Street, the collective. Maybe you can go out and get Walter Nolen. Let's talk Walter Nolen. Walter Nolen, defensive tackle, #1 player in the transfer portal, according to the folks at On3. I love On3. We should watch that Andy Staples guy. He's great. Walter Nolen is the rarest of rare in this marketplace. The rarest. Quarterbacks command the most. We just said that. But we also said defensive tackles are a prime position. They are a position of need. They are a position of rarity. Are you going to have to go above $500,000 to get Walter Nolen? You probably are. Are you going to have to go to $1 million to get Walter Nolen? I don't know if you have to quite get there. He's not a quarterback. But you are going to have to pay out because there's one of him. One of him. You want a quarterback, if you're Matt Rule and you can't get Kyle McCord, there's still guys out there. Cam Ward's still out there. DJ Uiagalelei is still out there. Tyler Van Dyke's still out there. Curtis Rourke, the Canadian cannon from Ohio U, still out there. Now, you're going to have to pay as much for Curtis Rourke as you are for Kyle McCord? No. But that's where you also want to do your homework. You want to make sure, is this guy this worth it? Is he that much better than everybody else that he's worth blowing a lot of my budget on? Because there's value in some guys that may not be as expensive that are coming from the group of five. Now, let's talk about the group of five a little bit, because I think teams have gotten smart about this, collectives have gotten smart, but so have some of the players. Some of these group of five offensive linemen who are all conference, they want to go to the Power Five, and they know that good quality, experienced offensive linemen are in short supply. So they know they're worth quite a bit to these teams. Based on talking to folks with collectives, if you would like to get a pretty good group of five offensive lineman who is leaving his group of five school and coming to the Power Five, you start at $100,000 and you go up. Here's why. The thought is the group of five schools don't have money. They actually have more than you think. A starting offensive lineman at a good group of five school probably getting between $35,000 and $50,000 a year in NIL money already. They know it's a valuable position. They understand. They are using what they have to make sure those guys are happy and stay. And again, most schools doing that with their offensive linemen, which is why you don't see a lot of good offensive linemen in the transfer portal. So when they go in, you got to make sure you give them a good offer or they're not coming to you. So you got to start in the six figures for those guys. If you've got a guy with a lot of Power Five starting experience and he's pretty good, well, now we're talking 150, 200,000. It's not cheap, but you know what's more expensive? The quarterback you paid for in the portal all mangled because you can't block. So pay up for those offensive linemen. Pay up for that quarterback. Pay up for those edge rushers, running backs, linebackers, receivers. You can find those guys. Pay up for those positions I told you about. That is how you win. You can find receivers that your expensive quarterback playing behind your expensive offensive line can hit. You can find a running back who can run behind your expensive offensive line. What you can't do is overspend on a running back, on a receiver, and not leave yourself enough money for the people who block. Because if you do that, it will not matter how much you pay that running back. It will not matter how much you pay that receiver. Your quarterback will be hamburger meat, and that running back is going to get smushed. It's a failure. Buy offensive linemen. Sell running backs. I used to laugh when NIL was about to become a thing, and people would say, but what will happen? Will the offensive linemen get mad because the quarterbacks get all the money? And I said, what sport are you watching? Do you know what the second highest paid position is in the NFL? It's left tackle. They're going to get paid. And guess what? They are getting paid over and over again in the portal, and to retain them so they never go into the portal. If you're a collective and you're smart, you've taken care of those big uglies up front before they go in. But if you need somebody up there and there's somebody good, you better make them a juicy offer, or they're going to have plenty more. So that is your lesson for today on how to find what you need in the portal and what you got to do. Because if you're not willing to pay for the positions that are rare and of need, then you will not get what you want. You will be disappointed and your coach will get fired. But if you use your money wisely, hopefully your coach has recruited some good players out of high school, because if he hasn't done that, you're going to lose anyway. But if you use your money wisely and your coach has recruited some good players out of high school, and you just fill in the needs, and the needs are always up front, just fill those in. Your quarterback stays upright. Your running back has holes to run through. Your receivers can catch balls from your upright quarterback. That's where the money goes. So offensive linemen, buy. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder Subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples On 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.